Well, hello, Kitty. Look who's here. All our fans are out there. As you can see in front of you, I've got a bunch of Case Stockmans. Exactly 6 of them here that you can see. And then, well, a knife in the box. Guess what? It's also a Case Stockman. This is the 7th Case Stockman that I have picked up. I have been very happy with all of the ones I have picked up. Before I show you what's in the box, though, let me review the knives I have out in front of you right now. We'll start with is the very first knife here, which is the biggest one and also the very first Case Stockman I picked up. I won this in open bidding on eBay. It is a used Case Stockman, which means I have no problem going out and using it, even though, as you can see here, it's got a kind of an interesting shield. You see there, you see the Case XX in the oval, but it's followed by the number 113. And that's because that shield represents the 113th anniversary of Case making knives. Okay, we interrupt this video to bring you another video that will explain these Case shields with these funky numbers on them. Now, the shields actually began with Case 111, and that was in the year 2000, and it continued all the way to the year 2004, with 2004 ending with the Case 115s or Case 115. Case 113 was for the year 2002. So now this is where it starts getting confusing. What Case did is each of these 5 years, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, and 2004, they picked 5 different knife patterns. And what they would do is they made 500 knives each of each pattern for a total of 2,500 knives with the Case specialty shield with the number. So in 2000, they made 2,500 knives with these Case shields, and that was divvied up between 5 different patterns. So each knife had 500 knives, or each pattern had 500 knives with this particular shield. And then what they did was they sent these knives out to select Case distributors. So each distributor might have got like 100 knives or whatever. And then those were sold randomly through the different distributorships. But a total of 2,500 knives per year were made. A total. 500 of each pattern. And then in 2001, they brought out another 5 patterns. 2002, they brought out a different 5 patterns. 2003 and 2004, same thing. So all total, you had 500 knives of each pattern for 2,500 knives total for each year. So a total of 12,500 knives had some kind of Case numbered shield similar to this Case 113. Now, I've heard people say that they came out with different knives each year, but you will see from these lists here that actually some patterns were actually repeated. So, for instance, 4 of these years they had a Case canoe show up, and also in 4 of these years they had different Case trappers show up. So let's take a look at what they had per year with the different numbers. So you see here the year 2000, the year 111 shield. They had a red bone copper lock, a classic green bone canoe, an old red bone rust lock, the natural bone hobo, and then the chestnut bone Stockman. So there was 500 of each of these different patterns made for a total of 2,500 knives total for the year 2000. And then in the year 2001, the year 112 or 112 shield shows up with an amber bone sow belly, a black bone pocket worn trapper, a natural bone rust lock. So we've seen the rust lock again, an amber bone copper lock, and then an old red bone uh, pocket worn canoe. And so now we've seen two canoes also. And then in year 2002, you have the year 113 shield, and you see a bone stag cheetah, a black bone pocket worn trapper. We just saw that before. The amber bone large stockman, 6375 CV. That is the knife that I have. The vintage bone cheetah, and then an amber bone canoe again, this time with chrome vanadium blades. In the year 2003, we have the 114 shield. We see an antique bone pocket worn sow belly, a bone stag cheetah, a bone stag canoe. That's the fourth canoe. An amber bone rustlock. I think that's the second rustlock. An antique bone worn trapper. I think that's the third or fourth trapper. But you see what's happening here. Different knives each year. Again, 500 of each pattern, 2,500 per year. And then 2004, the 115 shield. This is the last year that they did it. Again, 500 knives per pattern for a total of 2,500 knives. You have the old red bone pocket worn cheetah, the Caribbean blue bone copper lock, a bone stag trapper, an amber bone trapper, and an amber bone mid folding hunter. The amber bone mid-folding hunter has CV blades in it, or chrome vanadium blades. Now, from what I understand, what these were knives that were in the production that year. They were making other knives in this pattern and then this bone material, and then they just pulled out 100. I'm sorry, yeah, 100, no, 500 random knives with that particular handle material and slapped on the special shield. So they made more than that of the same knife, but 500 of them were chosen to just have the special shield put on them, and then they were sent out to various distributors. Probably their top distributors got, 100 or 200 of them or whatever, and then they were sold through the distributorship. Uh, Maybe at a higher price, maybe not. I don't know. In any case, that is the story of these year shields, or the 111 through 115 shields. With that said, let's get back to the other video. In the case of this knife, it is, as you can see there, 6375, so it is a 75 pattern Case Stockman, which is a serpentine pattern knife on a very large frame, 4¼ inches. The 6 for bone and the 3 for the number of blades. And you see there's CV chrome vanadium, so it had chrome vanadium steel blades, so carbon steel blades going on with it. Really great knife. It has been used, like I said, when I picked it up, it was used, but really just a solid, well-made knife. And I have since carried it a little bit because what the heck, it's already been used, so it's not going to hurt it too much if I gently use it and sharpen it properly. I really have not even bothered to sharpen it. It's been holding an edge for the little bit of cutting that I have done with it. So that's my 113th anniversary Case Large Stockman. Next up, this is a special factory offering through Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and as you can see there, get her done. This is my get her done Case Stockman, and I believe this is an 18 pattern. Is that an 18? You see there, yeah, 6318. So this is the 18 pattern, a medium Stockman, again on a serpentine frame. You've got the long clip blade going on there, almost a Skinner type blade, and you see there on there, Larry the Cable Guy, because this was a knife produced in conjunction with Larry the Cable Guy. So, but when Larry the Cable Guy approached, or when SMKW approached Larry the Cable Guy to have knives made, featuring him. He insisted that the knives be made in the United States, so that's why the knives ended up being made by Case. There are also a series of kitchen knives made for Larry the Cable Guy, and I believe those might have been made by Old Hickory, or they might have also been made by Case. But those were the lower end price knives, and otherwise you could buy a variety of Case knives. I really should have got one in the plaid bone, because that really looks cool too. But I did get one in the white smooth bone, a number 18. Get her done in white smooth bone. And needed one because I needed a white smooth bone knife, and why not get one that said get her done? Because I need to get her done with my white smooth bone collection. Now I believe this is the 090 pattern. It's an equal end Stockman, also considered a medium Stockman. I believe it is only 3 1/8 inches long, or no, 3 3/8 inches long. This is built on the same frame as the Junior Scout knives are built on. The difference is it obviously doesn't have a bail, and it's got 3 blades in there. And the front blade here is a nice clip blade. These are also really well made, solid knives. No wobble in any of the blades or anything else. So you got the clip blade, you got a nice sheepfoot blade here, and then you have the spay blade on the back here. Good action on them too. And I think this was called the Caribbean Blue Deep Canyon Bone. And you see how thick the knife is. I didn't think I was going to like it at first, but actually when you have this knife in your hand and you're holding it, that palm swell feels so good in the hand and it really helps you control the knife. So I actually ended up enjoying it quite a bit, and the fact that it lacked a shield was also a nice little touch for this. I like this one so much that I went ahead and got the salmon bone, and it's basically the same knife, only it's a little slimmer, and I believe they called this the salmon peach seed jig also. It's got a little, it looks like an ulu shield. I don't know what they would call it. Same blades as the other one though, and same quality build on it. No complaints on these knives at all. So that was pretty cool too. And then these next 2 knives, these are identical knives. I got 2 of the same knives, and there's a reason for that. And there's a story behind that. I've got a video on that. I will try and link it over to the video so you'll see why I ended up getting 2 of the same knives. In any case, this is also an 18 pattern Case medium Stockman. So blade choices, you would think at first would be the same as this, but they're not, because this is, as you can see there, a 2318 PU and then CV, so it's got chrome vanadium blades going on with it, and the PU stands for punch. So both of these knives have a punch blade in place of the spay blade, and really wanted a Case Stockman with a punch blade, and these were an exclusive to Shepherd Hills Cutlery. They got a black composition handle going on with them, and the Case oval shield. Really well made knives also. Again, I have no issues with any of the blades wobbling or anything like that. To be honest with you, I think when it comes to the Case number 18 Stockman, they know what they're doing. They build these things perfectly all the time. So I'm really happy with, I've got 3 of them. No real issues with any of them. One of them did seem to have a little dimpling around the composition here a little bit, but nothing serious. And that's really why I ended up picking up a second one, because I thought this one might have been a fake Case, but I was wrong. They're both nice Shepherd Hills Cutlery special factory offering Case number 18 Stockmans with a punch blade. And that brings us to my last Case and my latest Case Stockman. Okay, so this last knife is about the same size as the number 18s here, but it's a different style of medium Case Stockman. And well, let's break it out and finally take a look at the star of the show. Um, and I like this one for a number of reasons, but you can probably guess the main reason right away, and that is that this one is in stag. Now there are some issues with this stag, but nothing major with it. But the other thing I like about this one is instead of rounded bolsters, this one has squared off bolsters with a little bit of pinch going on to it, and that's what I really like about the number 32 Stockman. And doesn't hurt that it is in genuine India sandbar stag. So we see the difference on number on this one, and that this one is a 53032. That's because the 032 is the actual pattern number. A lot of people will call it a 32 Stockman, but I think it's actually a 032. This one is in stainless steel, 5 for stag. And right there you can see what the issue is in my book, is just the thinness of the stag on this side. It's pretty thin on this side too. I mean, they did not use a large chunk of stag on this, but that is one of the things with natural material. At first I thought, man, that is really thin, and it is, and that is definitely a dimple going on there, but it also feels so good when you're rubbing your hand across it. So that's the other thing that goes with it. And blade choices, you got kind of a medium clip. There's a lot more clip showing here as opposed to what you see on the 18. Notice the difference in the clip blade. This one has a little bit more belly going on with it, something I like a little bit more too. And you've got the sheep foot, which is basically the same blade, and then you have a pinned blade over here instead of a spay blade. So I also like that the fact that it's a pin blade instead of a spay blade was a nice little touch for this knife. So just a really cool little knife, and the fact that now I have another case knife in genuine stag. Is it the best genuine stag? No, but I tell you what, it still looks gorgeous. Even with it being that thin and everything, it still looks gorgeous. So any case, there you have it. And oh yeah, I should go over the whole thing. No wobble in that blade. No wobble in that blade. Well, a slight wobble actually. Nothing dramatic. Definitely not something I'd send it back for. And the pin blade, definitely tight as can be. So pretty cool. And I can actually tell you here that this one was made, does it say? Yeah, right there. So February 8th, 08. That's what it looks like. That it was made back on February 8th, 2008. My genuine sandbar stag case number 032 Stockman. So there you have it. There's all of my Case Stockmans to date. Will I be getting another one? Yeah, probably. let me take just a second to thank you once again for dropping by and spending a few minutes here at Knife Chats with the Pious. I really do appreciate it, and I do appreciate any comments that you leave. So please remember to give me that thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you'll know when the next episode is up and running. Thanks again for dropping by. Really do appreciate your time here.